Hi everyone, welcome back to Bible in a Year and welcome to day 3. My name is Natalie and we are going to be reading the Bible cover to cover this year. So I would like to say welcome. If you do like the channel, please remember to subscribe, like, and share. We're going to start today in Genesis chapter 3 and then we are going to Ezra chapter 5 and then we're going to finish up Luke chapter 1. And that's going to be verse 56 through 80. And then we're going to go to Psalm 3. So let's get started. All right, Genesis chapter 3. Now the serpent was more subtle than any animal of the field which Yahweh God had made. He said to the woman, "Has God really said you shall not eat of any tree of the garden?" The woman said to the serpent, "We may eat fruit from the trees of the garden, but not the fruit of the tree which is in the middle of the garden. God has said, you shall not eat of it, you shall not touch it, lest you die." The serpent said to the woman, "You won't really die. For God knows that in the day you eat it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." When the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was a delight to the eyes, and that the tree was to be desired to make one wise, she took some of its fruit and ate. Then she gave some to her husband with her, and he ate it too. Their eyes were opened, and they both knew that they were naked. They sewed fig leaves together and made coverings for themselves. They heard Yahweh God's voice walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and the man and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Yahweh God among the trees of the garden. Yahweh called to the man and said to him, "Where are you?" The man said, "I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid myself." God said, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from?" The man said, "The woman who you gave me to be with, she gave me fruit from the tree, and I ate it." Yahweh God said to the woman, "What have you done?" The woman said, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." Yahweh God said to the serpent, "Because you have done this, you are cursed above all livestock and above every animal of the field. You shall go on your belly, and you shall eat dust all the days of your life. I will put hostility between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. He will bruise your head, and you will bruise his heel." To the woman he said, "I will greatly multiply your pain in childbirth. You will bear children in pain. Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you." To Adam he said, "Because you have listened to your wife's voice, and you have eaten from the tree about which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat of it, the ground is cursed for your sake. You will eat from it with much labor all the days of your life. It will yield thorns and thistles to you, and you will eat the herb of the field. You will eat bread by the sweat of your face until you return to the ground, for you were taken out of it, for you are dust, and you shall return to dust." Man called his wife Eve, because she would be the mother of all living. Yahweh God made garments of animal skins for Adam and his wife and clothed them. Yahweh God said, "Behold, the man has become like one of us, knowing good and evil. Now lest he reach out his hand and also take of the tree of life and eat and live forever." Therefore Yahweh God sent him out from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from which he was taken. So he drove out the man, And he placed a cherubim at the east of the Garden of Eden, and a flaming sword, which turned every way to guard the way to the tree of life. The blame game. He made me do it. She made me do it. The snake made me do it. There's enough punishment to go around for everybody. So moving on to Ezra5. Now the prophets, Haggai, the prophet, and Zechariah, the son of Iddo, prophesied to the Jews who were in Judah and Jerusalem. They prophesied to them in the name of the God of Israel. Then Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and Jeshua, the son of Jozadak, rose up and began to build God's house, which is at Jerusalem, and with them were the prophets of God helping them. At the same time, Tattenai, the governor beyond the river, came to them. Tattenai was with Shethar-Bazani and their companions, and asked them, "Who gave you a decree to build this house and to finish this wall?" They also asked for the names of the men who were making this building, but the eye of their God was on the elders of the Jews, and they didn't make them cease until the matter should come to Darius, and an answer should be returned by letter concerning it. The copy of the letter that Tattenai, the governor beyond the river, and Shethbarazai and his companions, the Apharishites, who were beyond the river, sent to Darius the king, follows. They sent a letter to him in which it was written, "To Darius the king, all peace. Be it known to the king that we went into the province of Judah to the house of the great God, which is being built with the great stones, and timber is laid in their walls. This work goes on with diligence and prospers by their hands." Then we asked those elders, and they said them to us, "Who gave you a decree to build this house and to finish this wall?" We asked them their names also to inform you, that we might write the names of the men who were at their head. Thus they returned us answer, saying, "We are the servants of the God of heaven and earth, and are building the house that was built these many years ago, which a great king of Israel built and finished. But after our fathers had provoked the God of the heavens to wrath, he gave them into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, the Chaldean, who destroyed this house and carried the people away into Babylon. But in the first year of Cyrus, king of Babylon, Cyrus the king made a decree to build this house of God. The gold and silver vessels of God's house, which Nebuchadnezzar took out of the temple that was in Jerusalem and brought into the temple of Babylon, those Cyrus the king also took out of the temple of Babylon, and they were delivered to one whose name was Sheshbazzar, whom he had made governor. He said to him, "Take these vessels, go, put them in the temple that is in Jerusalem, and let God's house be built in its place." Then the same Sheshbazzar came and laid the foundations of God's house, which is in Jerusalem. Since that time, even until now, it has been being built, and yet it is not completed. Now therefore, if it seems good to the king, let a search be made of the king's treasure house, which is there at Babylon, whether it is so that a decree was made by Cyrus the king to build this house of God at Jerusalem, and let the king send his pleasure to us concerning this matter. And that was Ezra chapter 5. So they're still working, still having A little bit of a dispute there. And now we're going to move on to finish up Luke chapter 1, starting at verse 56. Mary stayed with her, being Elizabeth. Mary stayed with her for about 3 months and then returned to her house. Now the time that Elizabeth should give birth was fulfilled, and she gave birth to a son. Her neighbors and her relatives heard that the Lord had magnified his mercy toward her, and they rejoiced with her. On the 8th day, they came to circumcise the child, that they would have called him Zacharias after the name of his father. His mother answered, "Not so, but he will be called John." They said to her, "There is no one among your relatives who is called by this name." They made signs to his father what he would have him called. He asked for a writing tablet and wrote his name, John. They all marveled. His mouth was opened immediately, and his tongue freed, and he spoke blessings to God. Fear came on all those who lived around them, and all these sayings were talked about throughout all the hill country of Judea. All who heard them laid them up in their hearts, saying, "What then will this child be?" The hand of the Lord was with him. His father Zacharias was filled with the Holy Spirit and prophesied, saying, "Blessed be the Lord, the God of Israel, for he has visited and redeemed his people, and has raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he spoke by the mouth of his holy prophets, who have been from old. Salvation from our enemies and from the hand of all who hate us, to show mercy toward our fathers, to remember his holy covenant, the oath which he swore to Abraham our father, to grant to us that we, being delivered out of the hand of our enemies, should serve him without fear, in holiness and righteousness before him all the days of our life. And you, child, will be called a prophet of the Most High, for you will go before the face of the Lord to prepare his ways, to give knowledge of salvation to his people by the remission of their sins, because of the tender mercy of our God, by which the dawn from on high will visit us, to shine on those who sit in darkness and in the shadow of death, to guide our feet into the way of peace." The child was growing and becoming strong in spirit, and was in the desert until the day of his public appearance to Israel. And now we will move on to Psalms chapter 3. A Psalms by David, when he fled from Absalom his son. Yahweh, how my adversaries have increased. Many are those who rise up against me. Many there who also say of my soul, "There is no help for him in God." But you, Yahweh, are my shield around me, my glory, and the one who lifts up my head. I cry to Yahweh with my voice, and he answers me out of his holy hill. I laid myself down and slept. I awakened, for Yahweh sustains me. I will not be afraid of tens of thousands of people who have set themselves against me on every side. Arise, Yahweh, save me, my God, for you have struck all my enemies on the cheekbone. You have broken the teeth of the wicked. Salvation belongs to Yahweh. May your blessings be on your people. Oh, that was a fun day. I like the third day for sure. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day today. Ponder the words that we just read. Think about them. Think about how we could use this information in our real time, in today's time, how God communicates with us, and how we can grow stronger in our relationship with Him. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.